Hey there, my name is Cole, aka Trans Spirit Indigo. I am a soul having a human experience and I'm transgender. Thank you so much for stopping by this channel. Please make sure to subscribe and like this video. Go ahead and hit the bell notifications so you'll be notified whenever new video comes up. Okay, so from the title of this video, I'm going to get a little personal here. I have been thinking a lot lately about top surgery, and it's something that I hadn't really thought about much until the past 365 roundabout days of life. Just a little bit over a year ago, I met a new friend who he had decided to have top surgery and not take any hormone replacements, not inject T or take T gel or any kind of testosterone, and as a trans male. And it got me to thinking, wait a minute, I cannot take T and have top surgery. Now, why this had not dawned on me before, I couldn't tell you. I've questioned that quite often in the past year. Like, why didn't I think of that? And I just, sat with myself and I'm thinking things through, because having major surgery it's a huge deal. It's not just you just wake up one day and you're like, I'm going to have major surgery. I mean, well, maybe you do, but it's a pretty big decision. So I'm thinking about it, and I realized that over the past 16 years that I've known that I'm trans, that there's a word for how I've felt since I was around 5, a little earlier than that. I've always equated hormone replacement therapy with the physical aspects and the surgery, I should say, because hormone replacement is physical, but with surgery, with top surgery, and as far as like trans men, because that's what I'll speak from, because that's what I know and understand best, being a transgender male, is that I didn't equate taking testosterone and having my chest removed as different things, but they are different things. So that's where I'm kind of baffled. I'm like, I'm not really sure why I didn't think of that before, but I hadn't. So after meeting him and realizing his choices to have top surgery, have his breast removed, and to not take T, I just thought, wait a minute here. This could be a really great idea. And that's when I dove deeper. I'm in the spiritual community. Some people call it shadow work or just inner work, soul work. But I started in the past year. I started a year ago, and for the past year, I should say, have been thinking about why I haven't had top surgery and if I should and what that would be like. And I've realized that I have been experiencing a lot of gender dysphoria, and a lot of it's based with my chest. And I think a lot of trans guys, gals, trans people have similar feelings about that. I've read that a lot, and just over the past few years, where people are talking about having major dysphoria when it comes to their chest. And I mean, really, that's one of the main things where I know people have said, well, I know you were dressed a certain way, you had like a guy haircut, what's considered to be a guy haircut, even though, as you've heard me say before, we place gender on things, and it can be very silly because haircuts don't have gender. But anyway, I digress. I've had people say, oh, but I could tell you were a female because of your breast. And I've been different sizes. I think in the last video I said I've been 100 pounds underweight and over. So I've never been 100 pounds underweight. That would be really scary. But I've been 100 pounds overweight, which was still scary for my health. But I thought about it, and I'm like, if my average weight's supposed to be about 150 for my height, and I was 100 pounds underweight, I don't think I've ever weighed 50 pounds as a grown adult. Just as a side note, if you saw my last video, I just had to say that. I'm like, wait a minute, what? So, but I have fluctuated and been different weights. So I've been about 50 pounds underweight and about 100 pounds overweight, which have been very traumatic experiences for me, and get more into that at another time. But because of the weight fluctuation, there's been times where it's easier for me to hide my chest. And I'm just tired of doing that. I'm tired of hiding it. Um, I've never bought an actual binder, which I'm considering now, but these are all new things to me that I know aren't new to a lot of people. And that's when I also realized that I have been running from my trans experience for a long time. I've been writing in this book, this memoir about growing up trans, and also different posts I've made. I know that I've mentioned that I wanted to run from it for a really long time. I didn't want to deal with being transgender. I had been out and open about it in the early 2000s, and there was a lot of heat. I experienced a lot of negativity, although there was positivity and encouragement along the way, don't get me wrong. But it was a rough experience. So I'd say by like 2010 or so, I was just done talking about it for a while there. And it's only been till recently, over the past few years, really. So I don't know how recent that is, but that I've wanted to talk about this because I thought if I talk about my experiences, maybe I could help someone else. As I am used to being on a stage as a singer and a guitar player, that I thought, well, if I can put myself out there like that to other people, maybe this information could help. So that's why I'm sharing. That's why I'm on YouTube. But I don't know if anyone else has experienced this to where they've just had these, realizations that like, hey, wait a minute. I could do this and I'd probably be happier. And that's how I've been feeling about top surgery. Like the whole thing seems kind of scary. It's a big deal. I'm not very happy about the idea of having surgery because the surgeries that I have had in this lifetime have been due to traumatic car accidents. So surgery has always been a very traumatic time, which I know it's different for everybody. But then this surgery would be different. I wouldn't be rushed to the hospital in an ambulance trying to save my leg or my arm. So I have to think about it in a positive way like that, like the reasons why I'd be getting it. But when I think about having it done and I think about not having boobs, I'm just like, I'm mesmerized. I think, well, man, I'd feel like myself to the point where it almost would be frightening for me. And that's when I realized I've been living for so long feeling like I'm in the wrong body that it's like I've tried to normalize that, but it never feels good. It doesn't really feel good. And that's when I realized as far as the whole spiritual part of my life goes and those aspects, it's very important to feel at one with your mind, body, and spirit. And I've been so out of touch with the body part, with the body aspects of that. And I've made excuses like, oh, well, I'm trans, so it's harder for me. Well, that might be true, but I've also noticed how, like I've told you guys, that I've just ran from it, guys and gals, and everyone in between. I've just ran from the whole transgender part of my life for a long time and have said things like, well, I'm just a guy and that's the way it is and I don't care what other people think. But the truth is I'm human and I do care what other people think. I try not to, but if I have somebody saying very transphobic things towards me, it doesn't feel good. So then it's like I care that they, it would be a lot easier to not have breast and to pass more as a masculine human being. I identify as male, but I'm in a biologically female-made body. And I guess I've gotten so used to feeling like a prisoner, so to say, in my own body, I think I forgot how unhealthy that really is. So I wanted to share this with you. It's pretty damn personal, and I'm being vulnerable with you right now. It's like it's a tough thing to realize, wow, and that goes into self-love. And I want to make a video soon about self-love because that is something that has become life-changing for me, is recognizing when self-love is needed and when applying it, how greatly your life can change in positive ways. And I mean, I used to think that it was all a bunch of hoopla, but that was just, to me, in my opinion, in the now moment, that was just my ego, just taking it personally, because self love is everything. If you can't be comfortable in your own skin and be comfortable as the person you are, it's very difficult to lead a happy life. So it's important for us to gravitate inward through meditation, through connecting with our guides, with our higher powers, and figuring out who we are as humans, because we all have specific things that we've been blessed with that we can do while we're here. So with all this being said, I'll wrap this up. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. So long story long, I'm seeing top surgery in my future. I not soon, maybe a year from now, maybe a couple of years from now. I have a lot going on right now. So I just feel like it's something that I need to do more investigating on, because I would want to do it with the right doctor, the right everything. I don't want it to be rushed or botched or anything. It's going to be, when it happens, it's going to be great. It's going to be healthy. It's going to be with a trusted medical professional. So I'm going to have patience with it. But I won't lie, there are times where I look down and I'm just like, oh my God, get off my chest. And if you can relate to that, please comment below. No, in all seriousness, I know a lot of you can relate to that. And I'm giving out love to y'all. Just know that we can always steer our life in the direction that's best for us. And if having top surgery is best for you, then you can make that happen. Even though it might be a mountain to climb, it doesn't have to be as hard as we think it is. And I'll remember that for my own sake. But much love, everybody. And again, thank you for stopping by. Please make sure to subscribe, like this video, all that great stuff. Please comment below. I want to hear more from you. I appreciate each and every person that has been stopping by the channel. Much love and light, everyone. I'll see you next time.